Okay, so
Kaya
not
nga,
even
kumuha ako
15.
na ibang tao sa Pacer, kumuha ako na ibang tao sa Regional Mobile Group.
And
Mr.
this
Chair.
included si Mr. Madre Ramos po ba?
Monte de Ramos, Mr.
Monte
Chair.
de Ramos
Yes,
is
Mr. Chair.
organic member ng PDEA.
Hindi, Mr. Chair, kasi galing siya ng NDEP before. Hiniram ko lang muna siya para maging PDEA. Actually, wala talagang organic talaga na PDEA kasi panay pulis kami, Mr. Chair.
So, Mr. Chair, at the time when you composed this group, you had actual supervision of this operation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So I think this is just going back to the point of Chairman Abante when asking if you had, if we were talking about command responsibility. It's not something na may organization that you were detached. You had not really handpicked, but you requested to come up with this group and you had direct supervision.
I
This
have
is not
supervision.
to imply anything. Of course, you enjoy the presumption of regularity. But I just wanted to point out po, siguro at what Chairman Abante was saying, that in relation to command responsibility and whether there would be liabilities, I think there was a very close-knit and direct part for your team as a whole. I don't think it was that detached. But we'll go back to that at a later time, Mr. Villanueva. So you have an organic group of 15 plus coming from the other law enforcement agency personnel that you could muster. And you conducted this operation centered around Mr. Alex C. Tama po? Alex? Yung husband, Alan, sorry. Mr. Alan C., Alex Kim, and then the Pilapil siblings. And that's how you conducted the four. So at this operation, I wouldn't want to say casualties po, Mr. Villanueva, no? But during the operation, the Dumoy Lab, there were 6 fatalities. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Were there any live suspects? that were
Wala po,
apprehended?
Mr. Chair.
Wala. So just
Wala
the
po.
6. Then from the Arlene apartment, you had 13 based on the blotter na you invited for interrogation.
Hindi nga ako pa familiar, Mr. Chair. But because based on the blotter, maybe there's 13 of them. But hindi ako familiar kung ilan ang actual nun, Mr. Chair.
So that's just based on the blotter. So
Yes,
Arlene
Mr.
apartment.
Chair.
For the Agdao and the Bunawan raids, wala pong
Walang
na.
tao, Mr.
So this is mostly just the air scrubber sa Bunawan and then the precursor chemical.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So if we're talking about personality suspects, you have 6 killed in action in Agdao, in Dumoy, and then the 11 that were investigated. Out of the 13, sorry. So out of the 13 that you invited for interrogation, and you don't recall po no, how many. Eventually, according to the plotter, you turned it over to the Bureau of Immigration. And doon po tayo nagkalituan po, no?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Last hearing, you said you don't remember how many you turned over. The Bureau in Bureau of Immigration naman wouldn't know also how many they received. That's why po we were trying to invite si SPO4 Carrillo. And why is that po again, Mr. Villanueva? Mr. Carrillo was under your command po ba? And siya yung in charge? ng
He was
custody
my
nila?
operations officer during that time, Mr. Chair.
And he was definitely in charge of the turnover to the Bureau of Immigration.
Actually, Mr. Chair, dahil nagkakaganong-ganon na kami, so may mga lakad sila Carillo na sila na yung lumakad. And part of that is sila na nga yung turnover nung mga Chinese do sa immigration, Mr. Chair. So, personal knowledge, wala akong personal knowledge actual dun sa ginawa ni Carillo. Pero part of that is, ito yung sinasabi ko na kung anong mga kailangan yung gawin, you do it because everything was delegated. Meron akong team para mag-file ng kaso, meron akong team para to conduct further investigation, meron akong team to collate other pieces of evidence for future anti-drug operation. So, ganun na yun, Mr. Chair. So, kung ano yung ginawa nun nila Carillo, nila Monte de Ramos, it was delegated, Mr. Chair.
Of course, Mr. Villanueva, Mr. Chair, that's precisely why we would like to invite SPO4 Carrillo. That's why we reiterated that. Kasi siya nga po talaga may personal. We don't doubt that you have or do not have personal knowledge of this matter. We understand the delegation of powers that you had to conduct. But we just wanted to know po that in fact we are looking for the right person. Si SPO4 Carrillo talaga yung in charge regarding the invitation for interrogation. So with that, Mr. Chair, we'd like to know what you do know for personal knowledge regarding that January 1 invitation. So, tama po ba? You confirmed as questioned by Chairman Abante that you invited si Ms. Jed Pilapil C noong January 1. Tama po ba?
Marami ring dinala sa office eh. Marami
kasama.
ring dinala sa immigration, kasi kasama doon Davao City Police Office, Mr. Chair. So composite pa rin yun composite. So kanya-kanyang investigation, hindi kasi kaya ng PDEA to conduct its own investigation sa ganung karaming tao. So we delegated some people na imbestigahan ng EDSOT, imbestigahan ng Davao City Police Office, at imbestigahan ng PDEA. So during that time, si Jed Pilapil, dun sa PDEA because she's the main person of interest namin, Mr. Chair.
Wait, so, Mr. Villanueva, through the chairman, most respectfully, you had information that chemists from the USDA came from Manila po, no? Arrived, and you have not identified yet sino yung chemist. You were able to get 13 people from Arlene Apartments. Tapos, dinivide po ninyo kung sino ang mag-interrogate.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Parang ganun na nangyari, Mr. Chair.
Wouldn't that be odd? Because if you're trying to investigate as to one piece, shouldn't it be that the PDEA as the lead agency, you said that this was your operation. You should have the bird's eye view po kung ano ang alam, what is the involvement of certain personalities. Paano yun? So like, there would be independent investigations, interrogations, tapos nagpapasahan na lang po kayo ng information.
No, Mr. Chair. Physically, Mr. Chair, yung PDEA office is as big as this. Maliit lang ang PDEA office during that time, Mr. Chair. Hindi namin kayang ipunin lahat yung tao doon at investigahan lahat.
So you're talking about custody?
No, yung investigation, Mr. Chair. Kasi hindi kakasyang lahat ng tao na andyan na napakaliit ng office namin. So I decided, sige, ikaw ang mag-handle dito, kuha ka, mag-handle ang EDSOT, meron din silang iniimbestigahan. So sa PDEA, ang priority namin is yung nakukunan namin sa video at surveillance footages.
So you made selections naman po. Out
Yes.
of 13, you identified which ones you would
Yes,
prioritize sa PDEA.
Si SPO4 Carillo, Mr. Chair, ang nag-decide kung sino yung si SPO4 Carillo and of course Monte de Ramos ang nag-decide kung sino yung kakausapin nila, Mr. Chair.
So at the time po, what was identified? Definitely, we have Ms. Jed Pilapil-C. And would you recall who else were brought to the PDEA?
Hindi ko matandaan talaga, Mr. Chair.
But you remember having Ms. Jed Pilapil-C?
Right after the investigation, Mr. Chair. Kasi maliit lang yung office nga makikita mo meron lang akong maliit na kwarto, but sa labas naman siya kinakausap. So most probably nakita ko. But I cannot remember clearly kung what transpired during that time.
But wouldn't it be po, kung maliit yung inyong opisina, mas maalala mo kung sino-sino po yung nandun? Kasi maliit nga po and you only had how many of them?
Nakita ko, Mr. Chair. Nakita ko. But yung actual interview on her, I did not witness during the actual interview, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Villanueva. I had more questions, but I think
Yes.
at a later time when we have SPO4 Carillo together,
Okay.
so we can tighten.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Thank
Chair,
you.
I'd like to direct my questions to Ms. Pilapil-C.
Before that, Congressman Gutierrez, I have here a letter from the OIC of the DPRM of the Philippine National Police informing us that Police Major Baltasar Carillo has passed already. So, nandito natin is anyone from DPRM? Can you please give the committee an information as to sino ba to? Police Major Baltasar Carillo. Can you please identify yourself?
Good evening, sir. I'm Police Major Randolph Amorcabilis Macoy from PRBS, the Chief Inventory Section of the Pensions and Gratuity Division.
Sige, what can you tell this committee about Major Carillo? Because he was invited for today's committee hearing, but he did not attend.
According, sir, to the issued General Order Number NHQG or CPO 2020-820, Police Major Baltasar Kimson Carillo from Pro 11 is effectively posthumously retired effective December 19, 2019 po, sir.
Okay, sige.
He died in the inactive service po, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you. So,